Big shout out to Sporting Icons, best channel out there.
Now, inevitably, us Brits, whenever a Brit loses a fight, we forget to give congratulations to Zhilei Zhang, so congratulations to him, and we look at the Brit, in this case Joe Joyce, and say, where did it all go wrong? What happened? Now, there's going to be a lot of people out there saying, that's it, retire, he's done. His biggest asset, which was his chin, is now exposed. Some people say, of course, there is a way back and whatever else. Like people like me, I don't throw people on the scrap heap because somebody loses a fight or two here and there, okay? It is what it is. You're supposed to lose because when you lose fights, it means you've stepped up. It means you've challenged yourself. A lot of fighters out there who's been professionals for a long time and are undefeated because they've been carefully picking their opponents, okay? Now, it's one thing to take a rematch. Congratulations to Joe Joyce. He showed guts by taking the rematch. Not everybody would do it, okay? And while the rematch doesn't usually go the way of the first fight, sometimes it does. But how you bounce back is you show the improvements. You show the adjustments. Even if you lose the rematch, do better than what you did in the first fight. And that's something Joe Joyce failed to do. And I'm a big fan of Joe Joyce. A lot of you know that. I've been a fan of Joe Joyce for a long time. But while he started off well in round number one, he was doing the right thing. He was moving to his left, Zhilei Zhang's right. He was circling. He was doing the right thing. He was moving his head. He was bobbing. He was weaving. And then round number two, he gets hurt with, it looked like a body shot. It may be even been on the chest. But you can see the air just leave Joe Joyce. And then the elbows came in and he reverted to type, doing what he always does. He was then moving to his right and Zhilei Zhang's left. That's the one thing you don't do with a southpaw. With a southpaw, you circle to the left, to the southpaw's right. That's what you do. And when you throw punches to hurt that southpaw fighter, you step into it and you let it go. Joe Joyce, the elbows came in and he was pouring with punches, just pouring. So in round number two, when he got hit with that stomach/chest shot, he reverted to type. From that point, Zhilei Zhang's like, right, I got you now. And round number three, ultimately, that's what happened. Because Joe Joyce was so concerned about the fact that it was the left hand, the big left, from the southpaw Zhilei Zhang in the first fight that caused his eye to slow down. The fact that he got hurt on two occasions, by the way, in this fight, both from the body shots from the southpaw Zhilei Zhang, that he was looking at the left hand of Zhang and forgot about the right hand. And that's what put him out. And it's one thing, as I said before, okay, it's one thing to lose a fight where you've given it a good go, okay? And of course, we all know in the heavyweight division, one punch changes everything. But it's one thing to win a few rounds, give a good account of yourself, and then get knocked out. People go, okay, one punch got through, heavyweight division, it is what it is, you move on. If you lose on points, okay, you lose on points. But you get knocked out so early, after not really doing much, after not leaving an impression, it's hard to come back. It's very, very hard. Frank Warren, of course, he will look at the money, rightfully so, he's a promoter, and go, right, how can we maximise his revenue? How can we get him back and maximise his revenue as well? And, of course, put on good shows for TNT Sports. He will mention the name at some point in interviews with Umar and go, well, what about Anthony Joshua versus Joe Joyce? That's a real good fight. People will watch that one. And he's right, people would watch that one because it's Anthony Joshua. Let's have it right. Much like he did with Dan Dubois, saying that Anthony Joshua should fight Dan Dubois. There's nothing in it for Anthony Joshua to fight Dan Dubois or Joe Joyce. Now, I would watch them, of course, and a lot of you would too. But Joshua would be the heavy, heavy favourite in both of those fights. He would. Dan Dubois, in his last fight with Alexander Usyk, looked for a way out. He got dropped at the end of round number 8. And round number 9, he was waiting for a punch to use the excuse to go down and take a knee. That's why people call him Triple Knee now, rather than Triple D. Joe Joyce, face down, arse up. Knocked the fuck out is what happened. So the only way back for either of those fellas is to fight each other, have that rematch. That's the only kind of fight that I could think of outside of Anthony Joshua where people go, yeah, I'd definitely watch that. And that would be the rematch between Joyce and Dubois, because a lot of people are going, oh, well, they both had it. You've got a quitter in Dan Dubois, and Joe Joyce's chin is made of glass now. That's how people will see it. I don't see it that way, but a lot of people would. But it'll get people watching. So both Dubois and Joyce will get paid well. TNT Sports will have a good headliner. People will watch it. That's the only way back for either of them. It's a risk because the loser of that fight, what do you really do? What do you do? Considering the fact how both of these fellas lost their last fight, it's not good to lose that fight either. So it's a hard road back for either of them. In fact, it's a hard road back for either of them right now. But it's the only way back, because at least then the winner of that fight, Frank Warren, can have somebody who can is then back moving into the right direction. There's no point putting him in there with a Richard Lartey, is there? There's no point putting him in there with a whoever. There's no point. So you put them in with each other. Because now they are going to be low reward, high risk, low reward for anyone out there. So there's no money in that fight for anybody to want to take that fight with either of them now. So you put them in there with each other. We can maximise the revenue and the winner can move on, and then Frank Warren's got someone to talk about. Because right now, his stable's looking pretty shoddy in the heavyweight division. Dan Dubois took a knee. Joe Joyce has got knocked smooth out. Tyson Fury's off fighting teddy bear fights in Saudi Arabia, and David Adelaide is embarrassing himself at press conferences. So what's he really got? Okay, he's got Zhilei Zhang, but is he going to get a world title shot? Not until at least the middle of next year, in which case he's nearly another year older. But anyway, that's for another video, I suppose. But for now, the rematch with Dan Dubois, Joe Joyce, is the only thing that makes sense. For the fans, Frank, for the fans, shoulder roll. Listen, it's the only way that either one of them can come back now. I don't see any other fight for any of them. Joe Joyce versus Dan Dubois, part 2. It's the way it's got to be. In my opinion, at least, anyway. Anyway, that's my thoughts on it all. You drop me yours. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you next video.